हाँ बेटा, इस बैच में हम लोग पढ़ें बेटा प्रोज। दूसरा पाठ आपका पूरा हो गया बेटा, ए फेलो ट्रेवलर पूरा हो गया। तो आपको सलाह देते हैं, जो नए लड़के जुड़ रहे हैं उनको ये सलाह बेटा कि पीछे ए फेलो ट्रेवलर पर जितने एपिसोड हमने बनाए हैं वह देख लीजिए पूरा, तब इसको आप सुनिए। हमारी बात सुनो, क्योंकि एक एक पॉइंट आपको हमने क्लियर किया है। आपको याद होगा कि जब हमने पहले दिन यह पाठ शुरू किया था तो एक दिन हमने आपको उसकी हिंदी समझाई थी ना, कि इसमें क्या लिखा है। आज हम उसी पाठ को अंग्रेजी में बोलने जा रहे हैं, पूरा पाठ, जिससे दिमाग घर कर जाएगा। कहाँ से पूछेंगे यार, जहां से पूछे तो वहां से जवाब मिलेगा ना बेटा। हाँ, लेकिन वो पूरा एपिसोड देखने के बाद जब ये पढ़ोगे जो आज बोलने जा रहे हैं, तब दिमाग घर करेगा ना। तो अब बीच में इंटरवल होगा नहीं, इसलिए आपको एक सलाह देते हैं कि जो देख रहे हैं उसे लाइक करें, सब्सक्राइब करें, शेयर करें। लाइक किया? अरे करो यार, नहीं तो फिर समझा करो। तो पाठक लंठे समझते हो क्या? कम से कम लोग जाने पठकवा जो है लाइक माने पसंद, यानी कि लड़के को पसंद आ रहा है। हमारा भी मनोबल बढ़ता है ना बेटा। आप इसे शेयर भी करें बेटा, सब्सक्राइब करें, यही पाठक की गुरुदक्षा है। शुरू करते हैं बेटा। लैंग्वेज बेटा, पूरा पाठ अंग्रेजी में, हिंदी अब नहीं बोलेंगे। द लेसन ए फेलो ट्रेवलर has been written by A.J. Gardner, who is an eminent essayist in the world of modern English literature. The theme of the lesson is that, the essence of the lesson is that coming and going is the goal of life's journey. जीवन का मकसद तो आना और जाना है। The lesson is that, पाठ शुरू हुआ। The lesson is that one day the writer A.J. Gardner was standing at Great London Central. Standing at Great London Central, he was waiting for a train because he had to go to a Midland town from London city. It was the last train from London Central to a Midland town. If the writer A.J. Gardner did not go by train, so he had to pass the night at the platform. It was a passenger train because it was moving slowly and slowly on its path. Sitting in the compartment of the train, every passenger was forced to throw his eyes towards the sky. The writer A.J. Gardner did not know whether he entered. The writer A.J. Gardner did not know whether he entered the compartment first or his fellow traveler entered the compartment first. He did not know. When the train started from Great London Central, it was completely overcrowded. There was no seat in the compartment of the train for another passenger. But as and when the train stopped, the suburban stations of the city, the travelers came down ones and twos, and by the time the train crossed the outer ring of London city, the writer A.J. Gardner thought that he was alone in the compartment, though he was not alone because he has a fellow traveler. By adopting humorous style, the writer A.J. Gardner has taught us that coming and going is the goal of life's journey. So being alone in the compartment of a train, running through the darkness of the night and making a noise on its path, the writer A.J. Gardner wanted to take the real enjoyment of freedom like a festival. According to the writer A.J. Gardner, anybody can take the real enjoyment of freedom like a festival if he is alone in the compartment of a train running through the darkness of the night and making a noise on its path. He can get the shape of his body as per his own desire. He can do what he likes in the compartment. He can talk to himself as loudly as he pleases, but there will be none to hear him, there will be none to oppose him, there will be none to bother him. Suppose he has a friend named John. He is always defeated by his friend named John in an argument. So being alone in the compartment of a train, like a victorious personality, he can defeat his friend named John in that argument without fear of counter stroke. Like a somersaulter, he can stand on his head on the floor of the compartment, but there will be none to say him, there will be none to bother him, there will be none to oppose him. Like a singer, he can sing a sweet and melodious song for his personal enjoyment. Like a dancer, he can dance one step or two steps for his personal amusement. Like a player, he can practice golf stroke on the floor of the compartment without any opposition. Like a child, he can play marbles on the floor of the compartment without any restriction. In this way, being alone in the compartment of a train running through the darkness of the night and making a noise on its path, the writer A.G. Gardner wanted to take the real enjoyment of freedom like a festival. He can open or shut both the windows of the compartment as a festival of freedom. Opening or shutting both the windows of the compartment as a festival of freedom, he can continue his journey from one place to another place without any opposition. He can choose his sitting place in any corner of the compartment, or he can change his sitting place turn by turn. Lying at full length on the seats of the compartment, he can take the enjoyment of breaking the rule and regulation of DORA. In this way, he can break the heart of the Defence of Freedom Act. Only the Defence of Freedom Act will not know who has broken her heart, because there will be neither evidence nor witness against him in the compartment. In the absence of witness and evidence, he can protect himself from the punishment provided in DORA. But the matter of sadness was that on that night the writer could do nothing of them. And in this way, being alone in the compartment of a train, running through the darkness of the night and making a noise on its path, the writer A.G. Gardner wanted to take the real enjoyment of freedom like a festival. But the matter of sadness was that on that night he could do nothing of them, and whatever was done by him was very simple. When all the passengers of the compartment went out, the writer kept his newspaper aside. He stretched his arms and legs. He stood up from his seat and went where the window in the compartment was. He threw his eyes outside of the compartment through the window so that he might see the calm summer night. When the writer A.G. Gardner threw his eyes out of the compartment through the window, he came to know that the pale clouds were still lingering in the northern sky. Afterwards, the writer went from one corner of the compartment to another corner. He again threw his eyes outside of the compartment through the other window. Afterwards, he lit a cigarette, sat down on his seat, and taking the newspaper in his hand, he started to read it again. In the meantime, the writer A.G. Gardner came to know that he was not alone in the compartment, but he had a fellow traveler. His fellow traveler came and sat on his nose. His fellow traveler was none but a wingy, nippy, and rude insect that is called mosquito. The writer A.G. Gardner made his fellow traveler fly away from his nose. So like a tourist, the mosquito made a short journey in the compartment. Like an investigator standing in a corner of the compartment, he investigated the rest three dimensions of the compartment very well. Like an inspector, He visited each door and every window of the compartment very well. He fluttered around the light. Afterwards, like a judge, the mosquito decided that there was nothing so interesting in the compartment as the writer, who was like a large animal sitting in the corner of the compartment. So the mosquito came back and sat on his neck. The writer A.G. Gardner made his fellow traveler fly away from his net. So once again, like a tourist, the mosquito made a short journey in the compartment. In the eyes of the mosquito, there was nothing so interesting in the compartment as the writer, who was like a large animal sitting in the corner of the compartment. So he came back and sat on the back of the writer's hand rudely. Addressing the mosquito, the writer A.G. Gardner says that it is enough done by him, because mercy has its limit, and he was crossing the boundary of mercy. He has been warned 2 times that he was a particular man who disliked the tickling of any stranger. So he was guilty. Putting on a black cap like a judge on his head, the writer A.G. Gardner issued a judgment against the mosquito that he was about to be killed, because justice demands it, and the building of law gives reward for such a work. The writer A.G. Gardner says, addressing the mosquito, the writer A.G. Gardner says that there are a number of offences done by him. The first offence is that he is a vagrant, and the second is that he has been creating a number of problems for the public living in the society. And the third offence was that he has, without having ticket, he was traveling in the compartment of a train. And the fourth one was that without having meat coupon, he was exploiting the blood of others. For all these offences and for many other small offences, he was about to be killed. Now, after enumerating the offences done by the mosquito, the writer A.G. Gardner attacked him with a swift lethal blow of his right hand. But like a perfect player, the mosquito dazzled the eyes of the writer and protected himself very easily. This act of the mosquito insulted the writer. His personal vanity was stirred up, and he decided to kill the mosquito in the compartment at any cost. With his hand and paper, the writer made a number of attacks to kill the mosquito in the compartment, but he was not in position to touch him. The writer jumped on his seat. He followed the mosquito around the lamp. With his hand and paper, the writer made a number of attacks to kill the mosquito in the compartment, but all the efforts which were made by the writer to kill the mosquito in the compartment became useless. Afterwards, the writer decided to adopt the cleverness of a cunning cat. Hiding himself just beside his seat, the writer waited for the mosquito till he came down. When the mosquito came down, like a cunning cat, the writer went where the mosquito was, and he attacked him with a swift lethal blow, with a swift and terrible swiftness and turbulence. But all the efforts which were made by the writer to kill the mosquito in the compartment became useless. In spite of adopting the cleverness of a cunning cat, the writer A.G. Gardner failed in his mission to kill the mosquito in the compartment. All the efforts which were made by the writer to kill the mosquito in the compartment became useless, because the mosquito was playing a show match with the writer. As a skillful matador tries his best to protect himself from the attacks of an angry bull, in the same way, like a skillful matador, the mosquito was trying his best to protect himself from the attacks of the writer, who was like an angry bull. It was clear that the master felt boundless joy in his heart because he had disturbed the comfort of the writer in the compartment. According to the writer A.G. Gardner, the master wanted to play a little sport with him. And there was nothing so interesting sport as that which was being played in between the writer and master in the compartment. Because in that game, like a huge windmill of creature, the writer was running after the master to kill him in the compartment, but he was not in position to touch him. So the writer began to read the feelings of the master and came to know that his fellow traveler was not only a mere insect, but it was like an intelligent personality who was challenging the power of the compartment with equal term in the presence of the writer. On the other hand, the writer A.G. Gardner was not in position to do anything against him. Now, his thorny plant. So, the writer felt pity in his heart for the master. The thorny plant of superiority which was growing in the heart of the writer was cut down. The writer A.G. Gardner was not in position to feel himself superior to the master because the competition which was being played in between the writer and master, the writer was defeated while the master had won. So the writer A.G. Gardner was not in position to feel himself superior to the master, and he decided to adopt the path of mercy. In the opinion of the writer A.G. Gardner, mercy is the best quality of human being. Mercy is the noblest quality of human being. By being merciful, he could recover his honor and prestige. While the writer was running after the mosquito like an angry bull and a huge windmill of creature, he had become the subject of laughing, satire, derision, and ridicule. By adopting the path of mercy, he could regain the moral dignity of man and go back to his seat in the corner of the compartment. So returning to his seat in the corner of the compartment, the writer told the master that he withdrew the sentence of death. He could not kill him, but he could excuse him. Saying so, the writer A.G. Gardner excused the master in the compartment. Having excused the master in the compartment, the writer came back to his seat in the corner of the compartment and taking the newspaper in his hand, he started to read it again. In the meantime, his fellow traveler came and sat on the newspaper which was being read by him in the compartment. Addressing the master as a foolish fellow, the writer A.G. Gardner says that he has presented himself in his hand. Now he has to do nothing but strike both the covers of that respectable weekly magazine, and he would be turned into a dead body. He would be like a sandwich in between the two articles, Peace Tracts and the Modesty of Mr. Hughes, which were published in the newspaper on that week. But addressing the master, the writer A.G. Gardner says that he will not kill him because he has excused him, and he will satisfy him that when that large animal sees a thing, so that contains some meaning. Addressing the master, the writer A.G. Gardner says that knowing all about the activities of the master, the writer feels love and affection in his heart for him, so he has postponed his idea to kill him in the compartment. Addressing the master, the writer A.G. Gardner says that he does not know the importance of Christian charity and civility, but he has come to know those circumstances under which Saint Francis would have called him his little brother. Addressing the master, the writer A.G. Gardner says that there is a distant relationship in between them. It is a matter of fortune that they became fellow travelers on that summer night. The writer gave his interest to the master, and the master gave enjoyment to the writer. So the obligation in between the writer and master was equal. None of them is in debt. Both of them are in profit. And it is founded on fundamental fact. It is universal truth that they are subject to death. None of them is immortal. Both of them are subject to decay. Adding the master, the writer A.G. Gardner says that the miracle and mystery of their life is common. There is no difference in the miracle and mystery of their life. The writer admits that the mosquito does not know the goal of his life's journey. In the same way, the writer A.G. Gardner is also in dark. He also does not know the goal of his life's journey. It means the condition of the writer is like the condition of the mosquito, so he has no right to kill him in the compartment. Adding the mosquito, the writer A.G. Gardner says that when the miracle and mystery of life is thought seriously, so we will come to know that we are a good deal alike. There is no difference among us. We are nothing but like ghosts. As there is no importance of a ghost in our life, in the same way there is no importance of our life in this bloody world. As a ghost appears in the darkness of the night only for a short time, in the same way, like ghosts, we are wandering here and there in the darkness of the world only for a short time. Adding the master, the right philosophy. Adding the master, the writer A.G. Gardner says, as he has come into the lighted carriage from the darkness of the night, and he is fluttering around the lamp, after some time he will be forced to go out into the darkness of the night again. In the same way, after passing the days of his life in the darkness of the world, the soul goes to the kingdom of God, which is like a lighted carriage. Going to the kingdom of God, the soul flutters around the light that is nothing but God himself. After passing some hours, the soul is kicked again to come into the darkness of the world. Perhaps this is the miracle and mystery of our life, so he has no right to kill him in the compartment. In the meantime, an incident took place. The writer A.G. Gardner heard a voice coming through the window. That voice was of none but of his friendly porter, who was giving him a hint that that was his station. On hearing the hint from the tongue of his friendly porter, the writer thanked him and told him that he must have been dozing. Afterwards, taking his hat and stick, the writer A.G. Gardner went out of the compartment into the darkness of the night. While he was closing the door of the compartment, he saw that his fellow traveler was still fluttering around the lamp. It means the soul of the mosquito was holier than that of the writer. The result was that the writer was compelled to go out into the darkness of the night again. On the other hand, the mosquito was still fluttering around the lamp. पूरा पाठ समझ गया ना? बुरा काम करना ही गलत नहीं है, बुरा सोचना ही गलत है, यह सिखाया गया। पूरा पाठ तो समझा दिया था, आपको समझ आया पक्का? तो ये हमने आपको पूरा पाठ फिनिश कर दिया। अब इसकी जो सीट जैसे दिया था, 11 सीट का भाग देंगे, सेंट्रल आइडिया सीट मिलेगी, ठीक है। और एक्सप्लेनेशन के लिए काफी लड़के हो जाएंगे, तब हम दिखाना शुरू करेंगे, साफ साफ बता दें, ठीक है। यह आपकी जिम्मेदारी नहीं। और कल वाले एपिसोड में हम पोएट्री शुरू करेंगे। क्या शुरू करेंगे? पोएट्री, जिसमें हम पढ़ चुके हैं 1 पार्ट 2 पार्ट 3 पार्ट, ऑन हिज बैंड तक हो गया। अब अगला पार्ट पढ़ेंगे। थैंक यू।